So, now you were saying that when you went from 3 cigarettes per day to 3 to 5 cigarettes per day, that you was doing it because you was using it as a coping mechanism. And you said something very important before we turned the camera off last time. You said that your family was trying to tell you about it was bad for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what was your response?
My response was, you know, hey, I need this here to cope in order to keep myself going and to keep you all, you know, going, because you all are, you know, stressing me out. But once I realized what they were saying, even though I was still doing it, it went from, like I said, 3 to 5 cigarettes. It, you know, it went back down, but it still was unhealthy. It still was unhealthy.
Okay, and you said something else important. You said you was using your nieces and nephews and daughters' change to get cigarettes. So you had went from an occasional smoker to a person who was abusing cigarettes.
Yes.
Because you was using it as a coping mechanism. You was using it, and you had made up in your mind that you're stressed, that you so you training what you was doing, and you didn't really even realize it.
What?
You was training your mind that, hey, I need to have these cigarettes, so I'm gonna create these things that's going on just so I can self-justify why it's okay to smoke.
Right.
So at that point, what you started doing was abusing cigarettes. So that's why you graduated to more.
Right.
Okay? Now, when did you know that you had become addicted to cigarettes?
Because when I noticed that I became addicted to it is when I felt like I couldn't go to sleep without one. I felt like I couldn't wake up in the morning without one. Every time I finished eating a nice, medium, or good meal, I had to have one. That's when I know that it was addicted. It was seriously addicted. And I gradually, over the years, off and on, would stop and quit. But stopping and quitting and don't completely quit is still bad for you.
All right, good point. Now, Romans 12:2 says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Yes.
That's what Romans 12:2. Now, in week 1, we were discussing what the Holy Spirit says as your reason to quit. And the Holy Spirit was saying that your reason to quit was simply so you can leave. Because we just got through discussing all of the medical, not all of them, but we just gave you a large list of medical problems that occurs from long-term cigarette smokes. Now, this is just for the first-hand smoker, the person that's basically putting that toxin into their bodies. So you started out smoking just to kind of relieve yourself from some problems that was going on, and then you was noticing others, so you kind of like, well, you know, maybe it looked cool. For some, it's because it looked cool seeing others doing it. For some, believe it or not, it's for rebellion, because anything that you can't do, you want to prove that you can do. So there's many reasons why people get started smoking, but over the time you started using it as a coping mechanism. You started using it as, I got to, because I can't deal with these different issues that's going on, so I got to smoke these cigarettes and in order to calm myself back down. So now you're retraining your mind. This is when you're starting to get conformed. You're starting to train your mind that you got to have these cigarettes just to make it. Right? Okay. Now, as you went on,
Oh,
what?
stop a minute. I told Dad was there. I told him, maybe